that.
I love it because, like, it's not... I've watched a lot of, like, survival videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and like you said, it's just kind of like tutorials. It's kind of bland in a sense. Like, it can be fun to watch someone get stung by scorpions or whatever, just to show you what happens. But what I like about what you're doing is you aim to glorify God through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, equip families to learn and teach and educate their own children.
Right.
And that's phenomenal, bro. That's, like, there's no one who does that I've ever seen on YouTube, and I think that's important, man.
So you've given us some resources, but you're actually working on developing a class as well, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the class is not it's not in the stages yet where we've released anything, but it's going to be called Fundamentals of Wilderness Survival.
Love it.
So basically it's going to start with physiology of man and how your body reacts to the heat and cold.
Okay.
Then it's going to go into how to prepare for travel in the wilderness. And it's all very at practical level. A lot of survival books and resources, they've almost a lot of times taken it to this level of like you're preparing for something that's might not ever happen. It's almost, like they go too far to where it almost becomes impractical. So what I'm teaching, I'm trying to take it back. I'm trying to get into the science of some of these things, a very practical level of how you can prepare whenever you go out camping or go off-road far,
It's for families.
It's for families, right?
Yeah, it's not for like the guy who wants to go out by himself and live and stay like that. It's for practical uses for families.
Right. It's for and so most I think most survival situations are usually on average from 48 to 72 hours.
Right.
Okay.
And then by then you're either rescued or you're dead. So so it's really just surrounding that is more about preparedness, I would say. Okay. And then the first module is a lot about understanding how the human body works under conditions that are not heat, cold, thirst, hunger, sleep deprivation, and I'm going to jump into some of the science there, and then I'm going to start. We're talking about fire making, knots. So it's still in the beginning stages. If you want info on that, we don't have anything set up right now to where we've started sending stuff out. But if you email me at getsurvivalinfo@gmail.com, you just send me a message or whatever, and I'll put you on the email list so when it does drop, you can get those notifications.
Do it now, man. That sounds like it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be good.
I already told you, man, I'm like your target demographic. Me and my family, like, I will definitely, I'm interested in all of those things.
Yeah,
so.
And it's difficult because originally I wanted it to be just for kids. But then some of the research I was doing, I was like, adults don't even know. I mean, seriously. It's a lot of stuff that I've never heard of anything.
I know nothing.
Right. And so nothing. I was like, I can't just make it just for kids. So then I wanted to make it for both. So it's hard to use vocabulary that kids will understand. So what I'm aiming for is a course that parents and kids can go through together, where maybe the parent will understand it and have a good deep knowledge of it, and then can break it down to their kids, or can implement those strategies when they're going out and traveling in kind of the backcountry and stuff like that.
I love it because it's not... I've watched a lot of survival videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and like you said, it's just kind of like tutorials. It's kind of bland in a sense. Like, it can be fun to watch someone get stung by scorpions or whatever, just to show you what happens. But what I like about what you're doing is you aim to glorify God through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And equip families to learn and teach and educate their own children.
Right.
And that's phenomenal, bro. That's there's no one who does that I've ever seen on YouTube, and I think that's important, man.
And that's our goal here too, is we want to provide entertaining content, but we also want to equip fathers to lead their families biblically. Right. So that goes right along with leading your family and glorifying God.
Right.
So
and
that's awesome.
You'd be surprised how practical some of it can be in your everyday life. Like learning knots, for example. some of the knots I'll be teaching you can use just doing whatever, tying some stuff to your truck, or you know, or the same thing with like learning about the physiology. I mean, we live in the desert where it gets 115 degrees and there's not really any escaping that.
Right.
So
yeah,
I mean, so that stuff could be, you know, it's a lot more practical than you may think. Some of the I think survival TV shows are so sensationalized that they've removed a lot of those skills from how you can use it in a practical way, you know, and they've made it all drama, which is okay. It's cool. It's very entertaining, but a lot of it's not really helpful, you know, when you're actually out there.
If you're dropped in the woods for 1 month.
Butt naked.
Naked and afraid.
I'm like, why would I ever be dropped in the woods butt naked?
Yeah. Survive.
And it's two people of the opposite sex. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. What are you guys doing?
That's like my friction fire. I always say, like, friction fire is a cool way to get people interested in survival skills. But, like, what kind of woodsman goes in the woods without a lighter? Like, if you have to use a friction fire, then you're
not prepared.
Like, there's no person that knows how to make a friction fire that wouldn't go in the woods without a lighter.
Right.
So the only guy who's in the woods without a lighter definitely doesn't know how to use a friction
That's for, like, life and death situations, you know?
Yeah. So
that's smart.
So awesome, man. So you're actually going to, after we end our segment, we're going to actually show you creating a friction fire from start to finish, which is going to be really cool. That's for you bonus material people. If you guys sign up with us and want to support what we're doing, we have some cool stuff that we're going to be doing in the future, but we'll also show you this man creating a real life friction fire. It's going to be awesome. And he's going to prepare the tools and everything. You're going to go from woods, raw wood from the woods, and show us how to prepare it, and then show us how to make a fire.
Yep. It's like even like a sneak peek into Matthew's content, because he's going to be creating and releasing content soon. So it's like getting a sneak peek even to what he's going to be doing. Like, that's awesome.
Yep. And we'll put a link to the content, your stuff, when it comes out. Will be in the description.
Yeah.
And
but until then, get survivalinfo@gmail.com, and so that when we do start dropping notifications, that you could be the first to
send them it.
This is addition versus submission. Sinners need forgiveness. Surrender to his lordship. Don't extort the grace he's given. See, I'm blessed by the one, Yahweh, all day. I'm a wretched sinner, deserve hell for always.